Today I'm putting a Wagner intercooler on a 2018 Audi S4. First step, you have to remove the bumper cover. So I'm going to pull this upper trim panel off. You can see right here on this handle for the hood release, you have to pull this little insert out, and then this pops up. Back here, this little rectangular piece, you have to use a pick and pull that outwards. That's just a clip that retains this. So once that's off, pull this out, and you can pull this shield. Alright, with that up out of the way, you can pull this fastener right here, and you're going to want to pull this. Actually, I'm sorry. Pull this fastener, these four here on this. You can leave this alone. This stays with the core support. So you're just going to pull this, 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 and this, and that'll be it for up top here. Alright, now you lift up the car, and in the wheel well, you're going to have to take these front fasteners off that secure the front of the wheel well liner. So here, here, here. Also, take these inner ones just so you can move this this liner out of the way a little further, these two here, and that should give you enough. Alright, so now with that kind of pried out of the way like this, I just have it stuck behind the tire. You can see in there's a fastener way forward. It's a T30 Torx is what you're going to release that with. So just go straight in there with probably a 10-inch extension. And then right here, there's a plastic clip, a push pin style clip. So you just want to release that, pull that downwards. And that should give you all you need in this corner. So, all right, now with the car lifted up even higher, you can undo these screws at the bottom here. These forward-most Torx fasteners. These along the front edge of the bumper cover, and that should be it for the for all the fasteners. So I'm going to take those off and lower it back down. All right, now with the bottom of it, all the fasteners off, this bumper cover is loose. So I already pulled this out, but all you do is put your hand about right here, pull outwards. Pull outwards, it undoes these clips, and then forward, you know, once it's pulled out, the bumper is flexed a little bit, you can pull it forward and it'll come right off these two pins here. So pretty easy to get off here. It doesn't bite super hard. You can just pull this off, and then the bumper cover is loose now. So just going to want to pull the bumper cover straight off with both sides released. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright, now with the bumper cover pulled off, you're going to want to pull this crossover, the bumper itself off. Just these two bolts here. There's nuts at the bottom, 13mm socket. And then you're going to want to pull this Torx off, because this bracket is part of this, is riveted directly onto the bumper. And do that on both sides. And that also just pulls straight off. Alright, now with that out of the way, you're going to want to just pull your charge pipes off, both of the pipes on both sides. So, hose clamp, and this whole thing is actually held on just by, it just kind of hooks on to the core support. You can see how it attaches right there, right here. You can push these in with a little flat blade screwdriver and pull it out, and then it just hooks on. So I'm going to undo these clamps first, push in these tabs with the screwdriver, and then I can unhook this. On this side, you're going to want to, actually on both sides, you're going to want to pull this shield out of the way. This rubber shield that just diverts the air to the radiator, condenser, and intercooler. So I would say what I'm going to do next is pull the charge clamp, pull these hoses off, pull this plastic piece off here. Just the T30s, one up here, one that comes down here, one here, and then this whole thing should be loose. So with that out of the way, then I can pull these little air flap things out of the way, and then I can release this intercooler and pull up on it, push in those clips, rock it away, pull up on it, and get it out of there. So I'm gonna start doing that right now. I just used a pair of needle nose to squeeze those little tabs in that are part of the radiator, and then it's free on both sides now. So you can just lift up on it, and you can just snake it right out of there. So there's the old intercooler out. We're also replacing, yeah, it's a good time to clean all this stuff out of here. And we're also replacing the charge pipes on this one. I'm not going to go through exactly. This one's straightforward. It's just, there's a clamp there and you pull it off and put the new one on. This one kind of fishes up between the core support and the front of the engine, so it's a little bit more tricky. So I'm not really going to get into that. This is a direct fit, right, intercooler, the Wagner one, so it's not really necessary. I'm not sure how big of a restriction these lines are, but they look like solid lines that don't distort a whole lot to me. So I'm not going to really get into that. So I'm going to move on, clean all this up, and then start the installation process. Alright, so take the intercooler. It comes with these little brackets. These brackets are going to go on there this way, the facing inwards, like this. You're gonna, the wrinkle finish that's on these is pretty thick, so these are, I think these are the tolerances were kind of designed for the paint to not be there, so you're gonna have to kind of tap them on with a hammer. See, I kind of pulled the paint off, but make sure these are all the way on, facing inwards like this. Alright, with those brackets on, it hooks into the factory location at the bottom. So you just take it and you drop it onto those factory hooks that are built into the radiator. Up here is where you're going to need to use the a bracket that's gonna secure it differently. It's gonna actually attach to this bumper. I'll show you. Alright, so I put these, I just hooked at the bottom right now. The top of this is not secured with the upper mounts. The Wagner actually didn't ship them out. I don't know, it's just not in the bag. We can't find it anywhere, so we're gonna have to contact them to get those brackets. Probably in the meantime, I'm just gonna, they're very simple brackets. It's an L-shaped screw, that L-shaped bracket that's just 90 degrees. It attaches here to the bottom of the aluminum bumper, and they just want you to drill into it and put a hole in the bottom of that, and then into this, and then it just solid mounts to the bumper. So that's all it is. So for right now, I'm kind of putting it back together, putting this in place, and I'm just going to bend up a piece of metal, drill a couple holes in it, and attach it here and there, just like the factory one. But yeah, a little bit disappointing that that was not in the box. But the only real modification that has to happen here is this side you can get away with. It's pushed a little bit funny because the end tank on this intercooler is a little bit bigger. So I like to keep these in place just because it does divert air from the opening of the bumper to all of this stuff here. So it's kind of a good thing to have in place. You probably could just leave them out and it'd be fine, but I'm gonna try to keep them in place here. This one I had to trim a little plastic here. You'll see when you're installing it what you have to do. You have to just get a pair of little metal cutters and just cut this so it clears the end tanks better, and then you can kind of stick everything back into place. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just going to button this thing back up, kind of reverse procedure, and put it together. So I hope this helps a little bit as far as just a general overview of the whole job. It's not bad, but all right, thanks.